You sound unhappy." Suddenly, Ralph knew what he had to do. He thought fast, which was easy for him. Mice often have to think fast to survive. "Look, Ryan," he said, "I'm in trouble, and I don't have time to tell you about it. Just take me and my motorcycle with you, and don't ask questions." "To school?" Ryan was surprised. "Come on," begged Ralph. "We're friends, aren't we?" "Sure we're friends," agreed Ryan, "but—" "There's no time for but," said Ralph, who knew Ryan would soon have to leave to catch the bus. "Well, okay, if you say so," said Ryan. By the time "okay" had passed Ryan's lips, Ralph was wheeling out his motorcycle with his crash helmet dangling from the handlebars. "I'll stay out of sight," he assured his friend. "There must be some place I can live at school." Ralph stuffed the motorcycle into one pocket of his parka and picked Ralph up carefully so he wouldn't smash his tiny ribs. "You mean you want to stay at school?" "Yes," said Ralph, suddenly frightened by his decision. "There must be some place I can hide." Ralph thought a moment. "Well, there's one of Melissa Hopper's boots. You could hide there." "Doesn't she wear her boots?" asked Ralph, picturing himself squashed in the toe of a boot by the foot of Melissa, whoever she was. "Not if she can help it," said Ryan. "Melissa hates boots, so she leaves them at school. That way her mother can't make her wear them." A sensible girl, thought Ralph. Mrs. Bramble came bustling back into the lobby. "Ryan, what on earth are you doing on your knees? You should be on your way out to the highway, or you'll miss your bus." "Just checking the floor for dust," fibbed Ryan, as he quickly slid Ralph into his parka pocket. "Bye, Mom." And he ran out the door and went crunching through the snow to the highway. Ryan must have had second thoughts about taking Ralph to school. He said, "I guess Miss K won't mind." "Who's Miss K?" asked Ralph. "My teacher," explained Ryan. "Her real name is Miss Kuckenbacker, but she told us to call her Miss K because calling her Miss Kuckenbacker would take up too much classroom time." "Oh," said Ralph, mystified. To Ralph, school was a strange and mysterious place. When he had been a very young mouse, Ralph had pictured school as something like a bus, because mothers and fathers who arrived at the hotel with several children after a long, hot drive across the Sacramento Valley or the long, winding ride over the Sierra Nevada often said, "I'll be so glad when school starts." Ralph had naturally concluded that because a school started, it must also move like a car. As Ralph had grown more sophisticated from listening to children, he came to understand that children moved. Schools stood still. Later on, he learned that some grown-ups called teachers also went to school. Some of these teachers stayed in the hotel during the summer. As far as Ralph could see, teachers behaved like ordinary people, except that, unlike parents, they said, "Oh dear, school will soon be starting." Ralph found a clue as to what teachers did in that mysterious place from a television commercial shown several times a day. In it, a woman who said she was a teacher held a tube of toothpaste in her hand as she walked around, saying, "Toothpaste doesn't excite me. Good checkups excite me." This remark puzzled Ralph, however. When he had lived upstairs, he had once tasted toothpaste when a careless guest left the cap off a tube. He found himself foaming and frothing at the mouth as he skittered around frantically trying to find water, while one of the maids ran down the hall, shrieking, "Mad Mouse! Mad Mouse!" No, Ralph could not agree with the television teacher. Toothpaste was exciting. "This Miss K," said Ralph as Ryan reached the bus stop. "Is she okay?" "Yeah, she's pretty good." Ryan stamped his feet to keep them warm. "She thinks up interesting things to do for language arts. Like our school is named the Irwin J. Sneed Elementary School, And last week she had us write a composition about who we thought Irwin J. Sneed was and why the town of Cucaracha, California named its school after him. Ryan scooped up a handful of snow, squeezed it into a ball, and threw it at the branch of a pine tree. Snow slid off the branch and fell with a soft plop. Some kids made Irwin J. Sneed a monster from outer space, continued Ryan, but I made him a horse thief back in the gold rush days when Cucaracha was a mining town. I said he was the first person to go to jail in Cucaracha, so they named the school after him. Miss Kay gets real excited about Cucaracha being a gold rush town with a lot of history. Oh, said Ralph, puzzled. Who was Irwin J. Sneed, really? Just some old guy on the school board when the school was built way back in the 1970s, explained Ryan as he made another snowball. Ralph could make no sense of this information at all. As the snowball made more snow plop from a branch to the ground, Ryan had a sudden thought. I better be careful about talking to you at school, or people will think I'm nuts. Maybe some of them could understand me, suggested Ralph. They might even like to see me ride my motorcycle. Ryan considered. You'd better not go showing off. Somebody might steal your motorcycle. Or maybe everybody would start bringing mice and motorcycles to school. I don't think that would be a good idea. A whole school full of mice tearing around on motorcycles? One mouse can get by, but not a lot of mice. You know how some people get all worked up about mice. As the school bus came rumbling down the highway, Ralph had to agree from his hotel experience that Ryan was right. One mouse, or even 2 or 3, could get by. Many mice could not. Say, he said, you don't suppose there are already mice in this place? No, said Ryan as the bus stopped in front of him. Mr. Costa keeps our school too clean for mice. Of course, Ralph's feelings were hurt. Remember to keep out of sight, were Ryan's last words to Ralph as he climbed on the bus. Deep inside the parka pocket, Ralph felt sad, brave, and noble, frightened and bewildered. He felt sad because there had been no time to say goodbye to Matt. He felt brave and noble because he was going out into the strange world. Let me go back to that sentence. He felt brave and noble because his going out into the strange world would protect the safety of his little relatives. He felt frightened and bewildered because so much had happened so fast. Yet the inside of the pocket was cozy. In the deepest corner, Ralph found a dried-up raisin that would have made an excellent breakfast if he had not been so nervous about what lay ahead in that mysterious place, the Irwin J. Sneed Elementary School. He nipped a tiny bite of the raisin and told himself school must be safe because so many children went there. Of course, I will be all right, he told himself, pretending to be brave, but I will be careful to stay away from Miss Kay's toothpaste. And that is the end of Chapter 2. Thanks for listening, Cumru friends and families. Enjoy the rest of the book.